Hello and welcome back to my Dragon Age series where I'm trying to get you up to scratch on Dragon Age lore and plot before Dragon Age The Veilguard, and I am cutting it fine with this one, but we are going through the plot of Dragon Age 2 today, and I'm trying to keep these videos as short as possible and give you as brief summary as I can so you understand the plot without all the details that you might not need to go into Dragon Age The Veilguard. So without further ado, let's get to it. Our story begins with Hawke and their family escaping the Blight in Ferelden. They arrive in Kirkwall, a city bursting with refugees but tightly controlled by the wealthy nobility. With no resources and no connections, Hawke has to work their way up from the bottom. Hawke either joins a mercenary or a smuggler group to gain entry. This early choice impacts Hawke's reputation and how other characters view them. Hawke's mother, Leandra, clings to the hope of reclaiming her family's noble status, but there are many challenges. If Hawke's sibling Bethany is a mage, she has to be hidden from the Templars, as mages are hunted down or forced into the Circle. Hawke meets key companions like Varric the dwarf storyteller, Aveline the ex-soldier, and the elven mage Merrill. Each companion offers quests that develop their stories and provide insights into Kirkwall's tense society. The Act's climax is a life-changing expedition into the Deep Roads, a network of ancient dwarven tunnels filled with monsters and treasures. Here, Hawke faces a defining choice. If they take a sibling with them, there's a risk they may not survive. This journey brings Hawke wealth, solidifying their place in Kirkwall but at a great personal cost. Act 1 sets the tone for Hawke's rise and the sacrifices that will come. After the expedition, Hawke is no longer a refugee but a person of influence in Kirkwall. With Act 2, Hawke's story gets more intense. Known as the Champion of Kirkwall, Hawke has newfound status, but Kirkwall itself is unravelling. Act 2 dives deep into the city's political and social conflicts, especially the escalating tension between the Templars and the Mages. Knight Commander Meredith's influence over the city intensifies. She enforces strict measures to control mages, leading to rising unrest among the mage community, who feel persecuted and oppressed. Hawke meets two critical companions, Fenris, a former slave and warrior with a deep hatred for mages, and Isabella, a pirate captain with a complex history involving Kirkwall's underworld. Each character brings their own perspective on the city's issues, and Hawke's interactions with them can shape these opinions. Hawke faces more family hardships. Their mother, Leandra, becomes the victim of a gruesome plot in a tragic questline. This loss marks a turning point, making the story more personal for Hawke as they see just how dark Kirkwall can be. The climax of Act 2 centres on an uprising led by a group of mages tired of living under the Templars' thumb. Hawke is forced to pick a side, aligning either with the mages, fighting for freedom, or the Templars trying to maintain order. Now we come to Act 3, the final chapter of Dragon Age 2. Here, Kirkwall reaches its breaking point, with Hawke caught in a war between the Templars and the mages. Every choice made so far starts to show its consequences. Tension spills over as Knight Commander Meredith and First Enchanter Orsino lead their factions into open confrontation. Meredith has become extreme in her measures, pushing the mages to desperation. The city feels like a powder keg with Hawke caught in the middle. Hawke's companions have conflicting loyalties in this crisis. Some side with the mages, others with the Templars. Characters like Aveline and Fenris may find themselves at odds with Merrill and Anders, a mage who becomes an important and controversial figure as the conflict nears its peak. Anders, a former healer turned revolutionary, takes a drastic action that shatters any hope of peace. He destroys Kirkwall's chantry, the central church of the city, killing the Grand Cleric and forcing everyone in the city to choose a side. This event is a tipping point, making the conflict unavoidable. In a climactic showdown, Hawke must choose to side either with Meredith and the Templars, or with the mages, each of whom have their reasons and justifications. This choice determines the fate of Kirkwall and defines Hawke's legacy. The final battle is brutal, and Hawke's allies are pushed to their limits. By the end, Hawke either helps the mages fight for freedom or stands with the Templars to restore order. No matter what, Kirkwall is left changed, and Hawke's actions set the stage for even bigger events across Thedas in the next game, Dragon Age Inquisition. Act 3 forces Hawke to make the hardest choices yet, bringing their journey full circle from a refugee to a hero or a controversial figure depending on their actions. So that wraps up Dragon Age 2 and the general plot. Obviously there's a lot more depth to this plot and there really are some dark avenues and quests for it, and I highly recommend playing it if you have the time. But if not, I hope that gave you a general idea of Hawke's story and how his choices or her choices make a bigger impact on the world of Thedas. I'm going to try and get Dragon Age Inquisition plot out tomorrow before Dragon Age The Veilguard releases, but if not, I'll try and get it up soon. Hope you enjoy Dragon Age The Veilguard if you're planning to play it, and I'll see you in Thedas.